information is called as a column, okay, and horizontal set of information is called as a row, right? So consider this example where we are having a database of list of positions or what we call as vacancies. So we have senior executive assistant, recruiter, software engineer, and these are the educational requirements, functional areas, maximum pay and minimum pay of these positions. Okay, so we are maintaining a table of this information. Okay, now coming to the next diagram here. Okay, it's the same continuation of the previous diagram. Okay, if we are also maintaining a column for hiring manager. Hiring manager is nothing but a person who is managing these positions. Okay, in a recruiting agency, there will be different people maintaining different positions. So if we consider these examples of Megan Smith, who is dealing with two positions, recruiter and senior recruiter, and Andrew is maintaining software engineer and senior software engineer. So what is happening here when these people are maintaining two different positions? Their information is being repeated twice on the database, right? Megan Smith is repeated twice, Andrew Goldberg is repeated twice. But because this is a small database, this design is fine. But coming to a real-time scenario where there will be lakhs of records or lakhs of rows, this kind of repetition of information is not a good design. Okay. So in those cases, what do you do? When you don't want this information to be repeated multiple times, which is a waste of space or waste of memory, right? So in those cases, the modern applications maintain relational database structure. So that is something similar to this. So they will maintain a different table for positions, different table for hiring managers. So you must be thinking, okay, there's a table for position, there's a table for hiring manager, but what about these attributes like educational requirements, max pay, min pay, or functional area? Where are these stored? These columns will be the attributes within this position object, position table. Okay, but how is the information connected? The information is connected through relationships. So this kind of database structure is called as a relational database structure, which is these days used by many applications. This is, I mean, the backend will be a relational database structure. Okay, the information is connected through relationships. So here, if you can see, this guy Ben Stewart is dealing with director SQA and SQA engineer. So instead of repeating Ben Stewart twice, okay, we can just using relationships say that Ben Stewart is dealing with director SQA and he's also dealing with SQA engineer. So it's not this information is not being repeated multiple times. Okay, so if anyone asks you what is the database structure of Salesforce, this is the answer. It maintains a relational database structure. Okay. Then coming to the terminology of Salesforce. Yeah, it's similar to Oracle, or there are different applications that use relational database structure. Okay. That is the best database structure. Now coming to the terminology of Salesforce, there are three important terms. Okay, so we have these three things, right? Table, columns, and rows. Okay, so the table is called as an object in Salesforce. Columns are called as fields. Rows are called as records. So for a couple of days, I'll be using, for your convenience, I'll be using both these terms. I'll call it as a table and also call it as an object. But later, I'll only use these words: object, field, and records. SFDC is nothing but Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com. Salesforce has different names. I mean, it is called as Salesforce. Some people call it as Force.com. People call it as SFDC. Different names. Okay. So get used to these three very basic terminologies, which are very, very important: object, fields, and records. Okay. So there's a very important thing that you need to remember here. I'll call it as an application flow. Okay. So how do you design the application? I'll call it as design or flow. Okay. What is the structure of an application? So first of all, you need to create an application. Okay. Within the application, you will be creating objects. Within the objects, you will be creating fields in which you will be entering values, okay, to save them as records. Okay. Be creating application. Within the application, you will have objects. Objects will have fields. Within the fields, you will be entering values. And those values, when you save them, they will be saved as records. Okay. You will come. I mean, I'll be repeating this hundreds of times during the next couple of classes. Okay, so don't worry about it. So I'll just write down the list of topics. I think yesterday BSP must have sent you the list of topics that we are going to cover during this course. Okay, but just for the I mean, people who do not know, I'm just going to list down the list of topics. Okay. So once we create an application, what we are going to do is, what we are going to learn is, we'll create an application first. On the application, we'll create a lot of objects, we'll create a lot of fields, we'll write a lot of validation rules. Formulas, page layout, record types, relationships, I mean, okay, Jay, you're asking me what does application mean in Salesforce. So what does application mean in any instance? I mean, what is an application? A document. Is there any other definition? Right. So I'll say an application is a container of objects in Salesforce. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to draw a diagram for you. You will understand. I mean, here in Salesforce, application doesn't have any importance. It's just a container. It's a holder. It's a place where objects can be stored. Okay. But the application doesn't have the power to restrict an object to be within the same application. An object can be shared by multiple applications. So, if you ask me what is an application in Salesforce, I'll call it as a container which holds objects. Okay. Fine. So coming back to the list of topics, I consider work relationships as the most important topic. Okay. It doesn't matter if you don't know anything. I mean, what I mean to say here is, if you don't know relationships, you can never understand Salesforce. Okay, it's the most important, most powerful topic. Okay, but in Salesforce, it's also very easy to understand. So relationships, search layout, cross object, form. formulas, workflows, tools, reports, dashboards, VF effects, mobile admin, integrations. So these are all, I mean, these are some of the main topics that I'm going to cover. Okay, there are a lot of subtopics which I'm not going to mention here. Okay, so once we build an application, okay, these are the things that we are going to implement on that application. And as I told you during the demo, okay, it's just not one application. I'll be showing you multiple applications. So once we reach a stage, probably once we reach these approvals or workflows, okay, today we'll be starting with the basic application. But once we reach this stage, okay, once we complete all these topics, I'll be showing you a new project. So by that time, you will be working on 2 applications simultaneously. So these are the most important topics that we are going to implement on different applications within Salesforce. Okay. Right. Now I'll show you how to register yourself with the Force.com platform. As I told you, Salesforce provides you 2 things in the demo, right? What are they? One is platform as a service, which is called as the Force.com platform, and software as a service, which is called as the Salesforce CRM. So how do you register yourself with this? How do you practice? How do you work on this platform? That's what I'm going to show you now. So normally, most of the people, what they do is, they go into this website, salesforce.com, right? Okay. And on this website somewhere, you'll find a button called free trial. Okay. So if I click trial, it takes to a form. You can yourself click on start free trial. This is one method, but this will be available for you only for 30 days. So after 30 days, all the applications that you have developed, all your practice applications will be lost if you don't pay for the, if you want to continue the services, you need to start paying for it, because this is just a 30-day trial edition. Okay. So this is not the preferred method of registering with the Force.com platform. Okay. You need to go into a site called developer.force.com. So go into this website, which is a related website of Salesforce. Just a second. Okay. Go into this website and click on join now. Okay, so here it doesn't say anywhere, it doesn't say 30-day trial edition. So this is developer edition that you're going to register. But before doing this, I want to give you a small edition. Okay. So as you can see this diagram, when I typed editions of Salesforce, this is what I got. Okay. So there are different editions. There are 5 different editions of Salesforce. One, the contact manager, group, professional, enterprise, and unlimited. Okay, and as you can see, each one has its own price. This one costs $5 per user per month, $25 per user per month, 65, 125, and 250. Okay, so when you are in real time, okay, when you're working as a developer or administrator, 99% of the times you will be working either on the enterprise edition or the unlimited edition. Okay, this contact manager, group, and professional are some like basic editions which do not need more developers or administrators. But if you are into a services company or a product based company, these are the two editions that you will be working on. Okay, and as you can see, this is the most popular edition, the enterprise version. This is most commonly used, but multinational clients, big clients, they use unlimited version, which do not have any limitation in terms of licenses, number of users, the data storage, or anything. It's unlimited for them if they are paying $250 per user per month. Okay, so each one has its own fee. So as you can see, each edition also has a free edition. So you can register with these editions on a trial basis, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days. But as I told you, if you register with this, they'll be lost. The platform will be lost. I mean, the data will be lost after 30 days. So how do you practice? Keep on practicing forever. So apart from these 5 editions, which are paid editions, Salesforce also provides a free edition called Developer Edition, which is free of cost and it's forever. I mean, it doesn't have, I'll say, no expiry. Okay, so here you can keep on practicing forever. The applications that you build today will be available forever. I mean, even after 10 years, you will have those applications with you. Okay. So how do you register with this developer edition? Actually, you need to go into this developer.forge.com website and click on join now, and you will be seeing this form. Enter all these details. Okay. And here, finally, you need to enter a username. So, because this will be the first time that you are registering yourself, you can have your email ID as your username. And remember, username should be in the form of an email ID. Okay. So, but for me it won't work because already I have registered a username with this email ID, so it won't work for me. So what I'll do is, I don't know, but someone is asking me how about the size of data you can use in the free edition. There's a limit of 5 MB data storage, which I'm going to explain you once we register with this. There's a limit of 5 MB. Okay. If there's no limitation in terms of size, no one will go for the paid edition. They can keep on using the free edition, right? So there's a limit of 5 MB. Right. So because there is a free edition, if it's the first time that you're registering, you can use your email ID as your username, but remember it should be in the form of an email ID. So any username, say x@y.com can be a valid username. Okay, but I'll enter a meaningful username so that I can remember. So I'll say PSP. Yes, say, yeah, 5 MB is more than enough for the developers. Okay, 5 MB when you consider in terms of data, say for example, on a notepad or a Word file, if you, to reach 5 MB, it takes you a lot of it takes a lot of data to reach 5 MB. So it's more than enough to practice. Arjun, what do you mean by also what about admins? Admins will also always be dealing with the data and the users. Yeah, and it's, I mean, if you're talking about the 5 MB data, yes, it's more than enough to practice for the administrators. So I'll say give a name to this, some username. So the name that I'm going to give for this batch is bisp10@salesforce.com. So which is going to be my username for your batch. Okay. Okay. Once you register, okay, go back to email ID that you provide. So you will be receiving a couple of emails from Salesforce on your email address. One email. It takes a couple of minutes. Right. So as you can see in my emails, I have received an email from Salesforce, some info@salesforce.com, which says Salesforce login confirmation. So I'll go to that email, and it gives me the username that I have registered. Okay, and it provides me a link. So I'll be clicking on that link. And it takes me to the password page where I need to set my password to for my login. So some password. And I have successfully logged in into Salesforce now. Okay. So this is the interface where as a developer you will be working on this interface, and as an administrator you will be working on this interface. Okay. Throughout this course and throughout your career as a Salesforce professional. And as you can see, if you compare it to any other traditional platforms like SAP or any other platform, it looks very user friendly, easy to navigate, and looks very fresh. Okay, even before getting into Salesforce, I was learning Salesforce. I was learning SAP, and if I compare with that platform, this one looks very different and very easy to use. Okay. So I'm just going to give an introduction to this interface now. Okay. So as soon as you log in, on the top right corner, you see this white bar, a drop-down menu called as Force.com app menu. Okay. When I click on it, I'll be seeing a list of applications. By default, it is sales. You have call center, marketing, app launcher, community, site.com, Salesforce Chatter and content. These are all the ready-made applications, ready-made softwares that are available as part of the Salesforce CRM. Okay, as part of the Salesforce CRM, we have all these ready-made applications: sales, call center, marketing, app launcher, community, site.com, Salesforce Chatter and content. These are ready-made applications. But using the Force.com platform, we are going to develop a lot of custom applications. So CRM applications are called as standard or ready-made applications. Apps or applications. In Salesforce, we call it as apps in short. Okay. And the applications that you develop by yourself on this Forge.com are called as custom apps. Okay. But for your information, this Salesforce CRM applications that you see here, which are this sales, marketing, call center, all these applications, have been developed using the same Forge.com platform. So what Salesforce has done is, it is giving us this Forge.com platform on which you can develop any kind of application. But for the people from sales, marketing, and service industry, it is just giving us some free softwares, the Salesforce CRM softwares. It has nothing but these applications. Okay. So once you start developing your custom applications, they will also be listed here. So I'll create an application called, say for example, XYZ, ABC. They will be listed here later once I start developing them. Okay. So this is the Forge.com app menu, which is nothing but the list of applications that are being developed on the Forge.com platform. Then you have help, which is common for every application, where you can go into the help and find help on any particular topic. Okay. I'll come back to this setup later. On the left, you have this user menu. By default, it will give you the name of the user who is logged in right now. Okay. Under it, you have few links like my profile, my settings. Okay. We'll come back to these things later. You have a link called developer console, which is an interface to develop application using code, using Apex and Visualforce. Okay, so we'll be using this interface, and it's not just this interface. Developers have multiple interfaces to develop applications. I mean, this is one of the options. Okay, but I'll be showing you this as well when we get into Apex and Visualforce. And you have the link to logout. Okay, but the most important link on this screen is this setup. Okay, every day as a developer or as an administrator, you will be clicking on this hundreds of times. Okay, this is where you will be working. So Jay is asking me what was developer console. Developer console is an interface for the developers to develop application using Apex and Visualforce. It's an alternate interface. I mean, there are different interfaces to code. Okay, this is one of the options. Got Jay, or you want me to explain? Is there any confusion? See, to write an Apex code or a Visualforce code, I can do it in different ways. I can go into here, I can go into develop and write Apex, or I can go into developer console and write Apex, and there's another way of writing an Apex. And so this is one of the options for Salesforce. Okay. Just a second. Jay, you haven't attended my demo, right? Okay. So Apex, again, if you go through the demo file, you'll know. So we have, the good thing about Salesforce is it has many inbuilt features, ready-made features, drag and drop features, or I can also call it as point and click features. But obviously, client will always come up with unique requirements. There's no limit for their kind of unique requirements. So Salesforce might not have imagined that kind of situation. So in those cases where you cannot develop an application just by dragging and dropping things, okay, if there's a unique requirement, you will be using Visualforce tags to create custom interfaces, and you will be using Apex to write custom logic. So what is VF? It's a tag-based language similar to HTML. So if you know HTML, you will know Visual Code. It's very easy. Okay. And Apex is an OOPS-based language similar to Java. So if you have any experience or understanding of Java, you can very easily understand Apex. But even if you don't have any experience, I'll be teaching you right from basics to advanced topics for both Visual Force and Apex. So these two come under coding part of Salesforce. Okay. But apart from these two things, everything is drag and drop or point and click. Okay. Right. Coming back to this interface. So the most important thing on this Force.com platform is the setup. So wherever you are on the interface, okay, for example, I am on the home tab. Okay, I am somewhere. I'll explain you all these interfaces, don't worry. But example, imagine you are on home tab. So as an administrator or as a developer, if you want to do anything, make any changes, add any changes, delete something, add something, anything, if you want to do, you have to come into setup. Okay. So when you are on the setup, okay, if you look on the left side, you have three different sections: administer, build, and monitor. Salesforce has segregated these links perfectly. Okay. So under administrator, the links that you see are the tasks that are performed by an administrator. But see, these days companies are expecting people to do everything. I mean, they expect an administrator to do the developer task, and they expect the developer to do the administrator task. Okay. So, but at the basic level, Salesforce has segregated everything. So under administer, you have different things. You have build, where you can build applications, and monitor to see how your applications are working. Okay. So I'll just give a brief introduction to these links. Okay. So under administrator, the first thing that you have is the manage users, where you can add users, you can mass email the users, you can assign different security permissions like roles and profiles. You can create different public groups. You can check the login history, who is logging into Salesforce at what time, what day, what place, what IP address. Everything can be checked from the login history. You can manage the apps. You can manage your company information, your company profile, your company holidays, your company business hours, language settings, security controls, sharing settings, password policies, network policies, login policies. Okay. You have domain management. You have communication templates. It's a very important feature where I'll be creating a common email template, but I will be able to send to different people. So for example, we have, let me take two names here, say Arjun and Jay. Okay, I have to send an email to Arjun and Jay saying hi Arjun and hi Jay. Okay, but here I won't be composing two different emails, but I'll be creating a common email template. I'll say hi contact. Okay, but the system will take care of replacing the contact with their appropriate names, Jay and Arjun. That will be taken care by this communication templates. We have translation workbench, where I'll be developing the application in English, and I'll be able to translate it into multiple languages, say French, Italian, Chinese, German, any language can, that application can be translated. That means all these words or links that you're seeing in English will be translated into any language using translation workbench. You have data management, which is the most important link for an administrator, where he'll be importing records, exporting records, deleting. Basically, it's about data management. Okay. So we are going to spend a couple of days on this management. If you are an administrator, you will be doing this on a day-to-day basis. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay. So we have data management. We have mobile administration. So once I develop this application on my laptop or my desktop, if I want to see it on my smartphone or tablet, I can do it from here using different applications. We have Salesforce One, we have Salesforce Classic, we have Salesforce Touch. These are all different mobile applications for different platforms. Like this Salesforce Touch is for iPads, Salesforce Classic is for iPhones and Androids. Salesforce One is a new, as you can see, it's new. It's a new feature provided by Salesforce. It's the most powerful feature, most powerful mobile application in the market right now. Okay. We have mobile desktop administration where I can integrate my application with the Outlook. I have email administration. I have Google App integration. By default, Google is integrated with Salesforce. Where, let me show you. I can integrate with Google Talk, Gmail, Google Docs. All these things can be integrated with Salesforce by default. Okay. Then we have build, where things have been categorized into three different things: customize, create, and develop. Customize is to customize the existing things. Okay, that means the customize is about customizing the CRM applications. Okay, what is already available. Okay, create is to create something new. Okay, and develop is to develop application using coding, using Apex and Visual Force. Okay. So I'll show you. Under customize, you have all the standard objects or the standard applications which can be customized. Okay, then you have create, where you can create new applications, new objects, new tabs. You can write workflows, approval processes, and there's another feature called flows, very powerful feature. Then under develop, you can write Apex classes, triggers, Visual Force pages, websites. Okay. And this I won't show you, but this will be a surprise for you. Within seconds, I can build an application using Schema Builder. Yeah, Jay, that's the reason I'm showing you. The things that I'm showing you here will all be taught. Okay. I mean, but there are few things that won't be covered. Like, say, for example, under customize, say under customize, there are about 30-40 links, but you can't expect me to go to all those 30-40 links and explain you each and everything. So there will be few things that will be your homework. Okay, I'll be teaching the most important things, but the rest of the things you need to explore. Okay. And monitor, you can see how your system is performing. How is the import of data happening? How are the deployments happening? How are the outbound messages? Everything monitor from under monitor, even like debug log and everything. So within this single page, you have everything that is needed to build the most advanced applications, most powerful applications can be built from these links. So, right. So as I told you, we'll be starting with a basic application. Okay, then we'll be moving. Once we reach a stage, I'll be showing you some advanced applications. Okay. So the basic application that I'm going to show you is a talent management application. Okay. So we are going to build a talent management application. So imagine this application be an application that will be used by a recruiting agency. Useful for a recruiting agency to manage their business. Like they'll have a database of vacancies, they'll be having a database of candidates, they'll be having a database of job applications, right? So we'll be building that kind of application, a talent management application, which will be useful for a recruiting agency. So once this application is built, it will be a fully functional application. You can sell it to any recruiting agency if you can. So it will be a great application. Okay. So let's think about the list of. Let's start designing the application first. Okay. So what are the different databases or the list of information that are managed in a recruiting agency or a talent management agency? So they'll be having a list of jobs or vacancies or positions, right? Then they will have a list of candidates or job applicants. They will be receiving a lot of job applications or CVs or resumes, right? Every job application goes through a field, what we call a screening round or different things like. So I'll call it as they'll have reviews or screening, right? Or I'll also call it as ratings. Okay. They'll have a website to host these positions on the internet. I'll call it as employment website. And these positions have to be maintained on different websites. So they'll also have some information of job postings, which websites, which postings, which positions are posted on which websites. So that comes under job postings, right? So these are the list of databases that will be maintained within this talent management app. So this is the app that I'm going to build, and these are the objects that I'm going to build within this talent management application. Okay, and on top of this talent management application, I'm going to implement all these features so that it will be a fully functional application at the end of the development. Okay. Right. So how do you build applications? Just give me a minute. Right. So how do you register? How do you build your application? So once you are logged in into Salesforce, wherever you are on the page, okay, go into the setup. On left, go to create and go to apps. So I'll click on app. Apps is nothing but application. So I'm building. So don't worry about the standard applications. We will come back to this as part of the Salesforce CRM concepts. Okay, during the middle of the course. Okay, because they're all ready-made. They'll always be there. Okay, so we'll come back to this and I'll explain you these applications. Okay, right now we are only concentrating on building our custom applications. Okay, so when I click on apps, you can see that we have the list of applications that are already built, like the call center, marketing, sales. These are all the applications that are already built. Okay, but how do you, and these are all ready-made. They're not custom applications. They're all standard applications. How do I know that these are all standard? You can see that there's a custom checkbox which is not checked. That means they're all ready-made, standard. Okay, but we also have an option of creating our own custom applications. So there are two different ways. I can click on Quick Start. Okay, where I can give the name of the app, name of the label, name of the first object. But this is not the preferred way in real time, because this method will skip a lot of steps. Okay, so this is not followed, so I'm not going to show you this method, but we'll be clicking on this new button to create a new application. So new, I have two options, so app or a console. So what is the difference between a custom app and a console? Difference between a custom app and a console is the interface. That's the only difference. It's a console has a completely different interface to see the data that is stored. Okay, but everything else is similar. The database, the logic. See, interface is nothing but this, what you are seeing as a user, what is visible to you, the layout, the look and feel. This is called an interface. Okay, whatever you are seeing, the colors, the buttons, the links, the tabs, this is an interface provided by Salesforce. But console is a different interface which will be useful for salespeople who want all the data to be visible on a single screen. They don't have time to navigate between different tabs. They want to see everything on a single page. So in those cases, you will be building a console. But a console can be built only after building a custom app. Okay, so I'll build a custom app first. Click on next. So the name of the application is, I'll call it as talent management. Okay, this is the name that I'm going to give to my custom application. Then we have the label and we have the name. So what is the difference between a label and a name? Label is the general name of the application, and the name is the technical name. And the good thing here is I don't have to type it. I don't have to retype the name here. But if I just click on this field, it will be populated, but with a difference. The difference is whenever there is a space between the words, it will have an underscore. This name is also called as an API name or also a technical name. So this is the general name of the application. This is the technical name of the application. And there is no rule that I have to stick with the same name. I can, in short, I'll say, I can change it to anything. Okay, or even TM, anything. Okay, but I'll keep the default name. Okay, so you must be wondering what are these red marks beside these fields. These red marks are the indication of required information. That means if I don't enter a value into this and I try to go to the next page, it says you must enter a value. It's a mandatory field. Okay, and description is not a mandatory field, so but I'll enter something. So I'll say application to run a talent management, run a recruiting business. Go to next. When you're building a custom app, you can also replace the logo. So by default, you are seeing this Salesforce logo, right? Okay. But if you want to have your own custom logo, you can also do that. Okay. But I'll come back to this later. So when I'm building a custom application, it is asking me, do you want to use any existing tabs or existing objects? So like accounts, campaigns, cases, contacts, these are all existing objects within as part of the Salesforce CRM. So it is asking me, do you want to utilize any of the ready-made objects? But so if I want to use, I can just add them to my existing to my new application. Okay, but I'm not going to do that right now. But every application will have this default home tab, which cannot be removed. It says home tab cannot be removed and must be the first tab. So home is by default available for every application. Okay. So I'm happy with this default home tab, but later I'm going to add my own custom objects instead of using any standard objects. Okay. Next, the step 5, it is asking me to assign this application that I'm building to different profiles. Right? So what are profiles? Profiles will be managed as part of the managing users, where we have profiles and roles, which will assign different levels of permission to a user. Okay. So basically this page will decide which profile will be able to see the talent management application that I'm trying to build. Okay. But because we haven't reached this page, this stage of creating and roles, okay, by default on this page I'm making this application visible to everyone. Okay. So this application will be available for every profile. Okay. So this will happen for next probably 10 classes. I'll be making applications or objects or fields to visible to everyone. Okay. But later I'll show you how to customize it. I'll save it. Okay. Now what do you see? Within the list of applications, you see a new application called Talent Management, right? And I can straight away say that it's a custom application. How? The custom checkbox is checked. Okay. And what is the other difference between a standard application and a custom application? Standard applications can be deleted. Custom application can be deleted because I have created it. Okay. Now, okay, you have created it, but how do you access it? Now, if I go to the Force.com app menu, I'll see the talent management app that I've created. I'll click on that. What does the talent management app have? It will just have the home tab. Okay. And as I told you during the demo that during the classes I'll be pinpointing the certification questions and the interview questions. Okay. This is one of the first certification questions. They'll ask you what are the default components of a home tab. The default components of a home tab are calendar, my task, and items to approve. But this is a very old certification question. These days it's not being asked. Okay, but just for your information. So question is, what are the default components of a home tab? Answer, calendar, my task, and items to approve. They'll give you multiple options, but these are the 3 right options. Okay. So now, all these apps, either sales, so this is the sales application that I'm doing, and it has the standard Salesforce logo. I'm going to my custom application, which has this custom, the Salesforce logo. But I want to replace this custom application logo with my own logo. I don't want to have Salesforce logo. So what I'll do is I'll go to Google and download any logo. But remember, it has to be less than 20 KB to be added as a logo. So I'll try to look for 20 KB image. Okay. For example, let me download this. Imagine. I'll store it on the desktop. Okay. Now I need to go into this plus symbol, which is called as all tabs. So I'll go into all tabs. scroll down, click on Documents, click on New, give a name to the document. I'll call it as logo. Check this externally available image checkbox. Choose the type. Save it. So this logo is uploaded as a document, and it's 2 KB, so it's fine. It has to be less than 20 KB, right? Now I'll go back to set. Create apps, and I'll edit this talent management app. So here within the talent management app, you can see that this is the logo that is being inherited from the other applications. So I'll click on this insert an image, and I'll be able to see the logo from the document folder. Okay, so I'll select that logo, so it will be replaced. I'll save it. So the logo of my custom application has been replaced with my own custom logo, but it will only be for the custom applications, not for the standard application. If I go back to the standard application, it will be the standard Salesforce logo, okay, for any application, for any standard application. For the custom application, you have your. So if I have another custom application called XYZ, XYZ can have a different logo. It doesn't mean that the same logo should be applicable for all the custom applications. You can have different logos for different custom applications. Okay. So now, what do you mean by external source, Kaushal? See, for an image, yeah, see, no, not directly. It has to be added to a document first, and it has to be less than 20 KB. Only then it can be added as a logo. Not directly through the drive. It has to be added as a document. Okay. Right. So I'll stop it here for today. Okay. Today, the things that you need to do is register yourself with the Forge.com platform by going into developer.forge.com website. Just explore through the interface and try to create this first custom application. Give any name. It's not mandatory that it has to be talent management. You can give any name. Okay. I'll be providing you the notes. I hope all your email IDs are with Bisp. Okay. So that I can send the email to your emails every day. Even today, there are a couple of files that I'll be sending. Okay. So try to send your email IDs to Bisp. The other thing I want to tell you is, and one more thing is, it's not necessary that you have to stick to what I am teaching in this class. Maybe, I mean, today we haven't learned much about building the fields and all those things. But from tomorrow, once I show you something, you can replicate the same thing, and also you can improvise on that. Okay, make it something special. Okay. It's up to you. So I have few queries here. Let me go to them. Jay is asking me, will we be ready for the Salesforce certification exam after taking this course? I can assure you, even if you do what I tell you, you will be ready even before completing the course. Okay, I can assure you that. Okay. Okay, I'll include you. After this course, can one sit for exams? See, so here Ruth is asking me a question saying, after this course, what are the certifications that I can complete? And she has mentioned 201, 301, 401 and 501. I can assure you, you can go for 201 and 401. 301 needs a bit more practice, but 501 needs lot of practice. It's not so easy. unless you are a hardcore developer. Okay, so I can assure you 201 and 401 even before the course. Is that clear? Look. So Arjun is asking me, is Salesforce platform more CRM centric when companies implement it? It totally depends, Arjun. There are companies who use only the CRM specific objects. There are companies who use 50% of CRM objects and 50% of custom objects. There are companies who only use the custom objects. They don't use the CRM objects at all. So it totally depends on the kind of requirement. But because Salesforce is providing so many